For me personally, the craft is something that is amazing. Being able to learn something and master it is so fascinating. Whether it is picking up an instrument or a paintbrush or even a measuring cup, it brings some type of joy to the person that's learning the craft. We expect people to get it. We expect people to grasp the concept of us putting in time and putting in the effort, and when we display it occasionally, we want that recognition, especially when we have put years into the craft. But when we don't get it, what do? Recently I played my bass at an open mic, and those venues bring some type of anxiety, across me. And instead of being all closed in, I went like mega OCD on practicing. Like I practiced for hours, practiced every day for like a week straight. Not that I don't practice already, but like I practiced more than I usually would just to make sure this was like on point. So when I did that, I got up there, it was the day of the performance, I got up there and I played my solo. And when I finished, I looked, occasionally when I was playing I would look up and the faces weren't what I imagined in my mind. I finished, I got up, packed my stuff, and I waited for an applause. There was nothing, there was like a distant clap. And it brought me back to when I was 10 years old, and it was the first couple years I started playing bass, and I would be playing at church and no one would clap. And there would be one distant clap, would be my mother, but nobody else would clap. It was more like snickers throughout. So the difference between then, when I was 10, and now, was the skill and the amount of years that I put into the craft. So I kept on asking, why don't they get it? Like, why isn't it clicking? That I just did something mega dope in front of you all, and you all just like look at me like I'm crazy. So after that performance, I had called up a couple people. I was bummed out, and there was a universal theme throughout all those conversations, which was you can't expect people to get it. In Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield, he states, "The amateur believes that before she can act, she must receive permission from an omnipotent other, a lover or a spouse, a parent, a boss, a figure of authority. The amateur sits on a stool, waiting to be discovered." I tend to force my perfectionism or my creative way of thinking onto people. Like if I get it, for example, if I get bass playing, like you can get it too. So it's not that hard, but everybody has different crafts. Everybody has different passions. So some people might not get bass playing, just like I might not get cooking. And I have to learn that, that's okay. That some people are not going to understand the craft. So when people don't get it, I tend to play the what if game in my mind. Like, what if I had did this? What if I had changed the song? Or what if I had practiced a little bit more? Would have turned out better. And when those fantasy situations, everybody stands up and claps and throws flowers everywhere, it doesn't happen. You have to come to terms with yourself and realize that at the end of the day, I'm still a creative. At the end of the day, I'm still working towards getting better in my craft. It's still about the process of mastering a craft, because at the end of the day, the recognition is going to be there, but most of the days, the recognition is not going to be there. So what do you do after that? Some won't get it, and that's okay. But the main question is, will you continue to perfect your craft in the midst of misunderstanding? Thanks for watching.